Morning, everyone. Haven't seen you guys in a long time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Next week, Sunday is Mother's Day. So I thought it would be great if we practice some recipes that were easy for you guys to do for mom. So Mother's Day is typically the second Sunday of the day every year here in the United States. In different countries, it's at different times. I hope you got your handouts to see that in different countries it's at different times. And if you look it up, you'll see that every country, in Europe, they did it already. In Africa, they do it later on in the year. So it was started in 1908. Can anybody think about how long ago that was? That was more than 100 years ago. And it started by a lady named Anne Jarvis to celebrate her mom and all moms, because moms work hard, don't they? Do you think your mom works hard? I think so. I know these guys over here are keeping me very busy, and they're big. Cooking every day, keeping them on their toes, making sure they do their schoolwork. So we're going to start with some pancakes. Anybody like pancakes? I hope so. These guys like
I
like pancakes. You like pancakes? Okay. If you can take a picture. I did some pancakes here. They have bananas and caramel sauce on them. But you have your recipes with you? You see the pancakes? Okay. So our pancakes, we're going to start with our flour and our dry ingredients. Do you remember how to measure our dry ingredients? We always measure them with a cup like this. These are for our wet ingredients. Our wet ingredients go in a measuring cup like this. Our dry ingredients go in these measuring cups. And we have our measuring spoons. It's easier when you get them like this, because I always lose measuring spoons. I think I have about 3 or 4 sets in the kitchen that are all over the place. So I get mine like this now. All right, so we have 1.25 cups of flour, and we're just gonna dump it into the bowl. We have our salt. Just 1 teaspoon of salt. 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And 3 tablespoons of sugar. If you want your pancakes sweeter, add more sugar. It's not a big deal. And just mix those together. So everything is mixed up properly. Now, our milk, which I've measured already. Now remember, when you measure any liquid, you have to kind of sit down or put it on the table and make sure you can see it so it's at eye level. Because if it's not at eye level, you're going to either have too much or too little. Okay? So can anybody tell me how much milk we're going to need? No one's answering me.
1.5 cups.
Very good. So I'm going to pour my milk in here. And we need 1 egg. I'm going to break my milk, and I'm going to add it to my, add it to my milk. And mix that up together. You can add your vanilla in now too. I put a little vanilla in my milk previously. I'm looking, is everybody caught up?
No, 1 minute.
Okay, I'll wait. I'm watching kind of to see where everybody is, because I had my ingredients pre-measured.
I'll sit down.
You can sit down. You can sit down.
How much milk?
That's good.
1.25 cups of milk, right?
Yes. Now, For those who don't use eggs, anybody vegan or vegetarian, and don't use eggs and milk, a regular soy milk is fine, almond milk, and if you want flaxseed meal, it can substitute for eggs. Just follow the ingredients on it. So if you want to use flaxseed, it will substitute for your eggs. For those who are vegetarian, vegan, or just want to not use eggs for a while, you can get some of this. It's sold in most health food stores and Fairway.
That's your spoon.
Hello, milk, mommy.
We only
Thanks.
Melainie,
Yes,
we only have almond milk.
use the almond milk. Use what you have.
Okay.
It may not get as fluffy, but it will be moist.
So we need 1/4 cup milk, Adrian. That's good.
Use a little bit less for the almond milk because it has more water in it than regular milk does. So start with a cup and then you can add more if you need, but you can't take it out after you add it. So start with a cup if you're going to use almond milk. And then just hold some to the side, and if you need more, you can add it. All right, what I do with mine, I think everybody's kind of getting there now. I make a little hole in the middle of my
Mommy.
You see it? And I slowly use a whisk and mix in my liquids. Now your butter, get your butter together, and if you pop it in the microwave for like 30 seconds, you should be good to go. I'm gonna pour mine in and then you guys can catch up, whoever doesn't have their butter ready. You add your butter last, and I have mine melted already, and I just slowly pour it in. And then just mix that in slightly. Just until it's incorporated. I'm not trying to make a souffle, so I'm not beating it up a lot.
Miss Melainie, I got cut off. What did you say about the butter?
You're gonna melt it for about 30 seconds in the microwave. Depending on how hot the microwave is, you may need a whole minute.
Is this
No. And this is kind of the consistency you want. You want it to be thick but able to pour. Okay? Now I have my skillet already warming. And I don't know what you have available to you, but I use typically like a 1/3 or a 1/4 cup or a small measuring cup. Okay? And this skillet doesn't need a lot of oil or anything, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. And then this special. But you're gonna put it in, pour it in, and kind of do a circle with it. And this is where the patience comes in. You got to be very patient with it because you have to let it sit for a couple of minutes and wait for the bubbles to start. I'm gonna take off my glasses. I see somebody working there that's not a kid somehow. Have we gotten our butter together yet? Can you guys tell me
Yes.
who's on the call so I know who's talking to me?
Yes.
We got the butter. I'm
Yes.
putting the butter in the milk now.
Who's that?
Kimmy.
Those are pancakes.
Yeah.
It's not sweet. You did actually?
Gonna make it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I see Melainie, it's Drew.
Baking powder.
Hey there.
What step should we be on now?
Well, I've got my pancake in, but after you put the milk and the eggs into the flour mixture,
Yes. I
you
know
slowly
that.
mix that up together,
Yeah, we're mixed.
and then you
Can you
put the
put
butter in slowly
something
and mix
on
that
the
in
thing
as well.
I know what to use?
Okay. So we can start putting it in on the pan?
Yep.
Okay.
Get a measuring. I use a measuring cup if you have a ladle that works.
Oh, we have that too. Okay.
And then start frying it in your pan. Don't fry it too. Don't fry it too high. A medium low is good.
Smell it.
Here's the baking soda.
If you want, depending on your taste, you can add cinnamon and nutmeg and things like that to it. And see, mine is starting to bubble, so I'm going to check it. Are we ready to go? I need a big special. All right, don't mix too much. I see somebody's mixing a lot.
And then don't hold it down.
A really hard dough or batter. You want something that's a little looser. If you add too much sugar to it, it's going to get hard. All right, this first one is ready to flip.
And then the other is gonna hold it,
Hold
Mommy.
on. Let me blend everything.
Let mommy do it. Let's do it one time.
Don't pill.
How you want it to look. Okay, I want to see yours when you get yours in. Who's that stirring it? Aiden or Chandler? And I see.
Chandler.
That's Chandler?
Yes.
All right. Have you gotten everything mixed already?
Yeah, getting them.
All right. So you're ready to put your frying pan. Malia, how are you doing?
So we're supposed
Chum has to mix a little bit more. You're finished? Wait, what? You're almost done.
Here, mix. No, not with that. Here, use the yeah.
Cornelia?
Yes, Mr. Lady.
Amelia, how are you doing with yours, sweetie?
Yes, I'm taking it.
Hmm?
I started dropping it.
You started dropping them?
Yes.
All right, when it bubbles, I'm going to take this one out and show you once again. We want to wait for the bubbles on that side, and then we're going to flip it, okay? So I'm going to do one more. Because mine is ready to go.
And
And then we're gonna.
then
We can, Melainie.
Yes.
We could add the blueberries now before, right? Like in the mixture, right?
What I would recommend you do if you're going to do blueberries is put it into the pot. I'll show you. I'll show you what time exactly.
Okay.
Hold on 1 quick second.
With strawberries. Can we do strawberries?
All right, so there's my first one.
Oh, looks nice. Nice and golden brown. Right, James? Look.
All right, when you do this right here, when you pour
Yeah.
it into the pot,
Mm-hmm.
add the blueberries now.
Oh, okay.
So they don't get too mushy. But
Right.
they stay kind of firm. So add your blueberries now. Or whatever.
Okay.
you wanna add.
Got it.
I mix it.
Thank you.
And then toaster bun.
Toaster? We're not toasting the pancakes.
Yes.
No, we're
Get
frying.
my bubbles beginning to start, and I just let the bubbles start before I turn it over.
I can make bacon in this one. See what I mean?
Oh, you want to mix it in that?
Yes. Oh, blueberries.
Yeah, blueberries.
Blueberries, strawberries, bananas. Anybody have anything else they're doing in there?
Mm.
You said put them in the pot and pour over it?
Put mine over.
Yeah, Miss Melainie said don't mix it no more. It's good. We did a good job.
Don't mix it too much. You don't want the batter to get too hard.
Right. You hear that,
And
James?
I have to take them out if you want to put butter on it.
Big make a pancake. Oh, this is. Toaster, flip it. Toaster, flip it. Toaster, flip it. Toaster, flip it. Toaster, flip it.
Everybody got one pancake out?
Still going.
I should be taking pictures of their pancakes.
Auntie Melainie.
Yes.
Let's show them. Let's show them.
Is that Drew's pancake I see?
Yes.
Did you put anything in it?
No. Wow, Drew.
Who?
Thank you.
Yes.
You want to put some you want blueberries in it? Okay, let's try to do blueberries.
and strawberry.
You want blueberries and strawberries in it?
Oh,
Not yet. It's not ready.
Can you show us how to add the fruit again?
And that's good.
Auntie Melainie, can you show us how to add the fruit in the pancake again?
What do you add? The fruit?
Yeah.
The batter in.
Yeah.
When you put the batter in the pot and it's before it starts to bubble, add the fruit then.
Okay.
So the fruit will stay kind of have body to it and it won't, but it'll cook with the pancake.
Well, I'm about to flip soon. It bubbled.
Nice. There's the shoe up, small screens.
The bubble bubbling.
you don't want to see socket?
No. Oh, yeah, I want to see this cream.
Try.
You want to try?
Yeah.
Let's see. Come down.
I told these. I said that.
I'm trying.
Wait a second. It's getting there, okay?
I see bubbles.
You see the bubbles?
Yeah, when you're popping.
Ready, chance for another?
Adrian?
Wait, chance, wait.
Go on there. Wait. No, not that one. This is to be turned, son. That's fine. Wait, go on there.
Want to flip it again?
Drew and Gianna. All right, here we go.
Stop.
Yeah.
Let me put this in.
Oh, see, look. To
Looking
Melainie.
good.
See, showing us how to put the
Now
food
you
in.
put your fruit in.
All right, put your
Put
food in.
your fruit right on top right now.
It looks good, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna make any more pancakes. You guys have to finish it now.
Like this.
Yeah, it's cooking now, so we have to let it. We have to wait.
All right, I'm gonna go on to the next recipe, but I'm gonna just talk you guys through it, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. You're gonna have to stop at some point, and I'll show you what to do. Yeah. All right. So right now we're making regular pancakes that we find in America. Okay? But when you go to other countries, I see some pancakes there with a lot of fruit on it. That looks good. When we go to other countries, we get different kinds of pancakes, and they call them crepes. If you go to IHOP or other, some eating places, they'll call them crepes. And if you go to France, you can just order crepes anywhere. They have crepe stores on the street and things like that if you go to Africa. But they have just stores that all they sell crepes like ice cream shops. So crepes are a little harder to make, but once you get the hang of it, they're delicious. Okay, so once this pancake, we're gonna let this pancake finish. But for my crepe batter, I need my 4 eggs, and I need them beaten. So you're gonna beat the eggs and the milk separately. So you have your 4 eggs and your 1.25 cups of milk. Okay, so you're gonna mix those together like we did for the pancakes, for the regular pancakes. Then you're gonna add in your dry ingredients. So you have your flour, your salt, and your sugar. We don't need baking powder this time because we don't need anything to rise. Because baking powder is a chemical reaction that causes things to rise and get fluffy, like our regular pancakes. Then we're gonna have our melted butter. We do this like we did with our pancakes. We do this last because we don't want our eggs to curdle. We're not making scrambled eggs, we're making crepes. So we add all of our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients separately, and then we mix them together. Your melted butter, you let it cool for a couple of minutes, and then you add it in slowly, very slowly, and you don't overmix your crepes. Okay? If you overmix them, they're going to get too much air, and you're almost going to get like a souffle. It's going to be too fluffy, and then they're going to be hard to cook. So I'm going to turn this last pancake, and then I'm going to show you what a crepe batter is supposed to look like. All right, this is a crepe batter. It's very watery. It almost looks like eggnog, the color of eggnog. But trust me, don't drink it. Don't drink it like this because there's a lot of raw eggs in here. But it's very liquidy, and it doesn't look like it would become something solid when you put it in the pot, does it? But it does. But it takes a little bit of work to make a crepe. So I have my crepes here. I did 4 this morning, and I just have some cooked strawberries. I just added strawberries, whole strawberries, I cut them up, added some sugar and some water, and let it cook down with a little bit of lemon juice. And you just let it cook long enough on low, and it'll just turn into a beautiful spread, almost like a jelly. So there go 3 pancakes. Pancake batter can sit for a while, so I want you to pay attention to this. Now, this one may not come out perfect first, but we're going to try. Let me do it this way. Now with crepes, the thing is you have to be really fast because you've got to turn the pot to make sure that that crepe batter goes all over there thinly, like that. And then you let it cook for 2 or 3 minutes, and then you flip it. And you can do a lot with it after this. You can roll it and stuff things inside, or you can fold it in triangles like I did and just put stuff on top of it with fruit. And because there's so many eggs and butter and everything in this, you don't need anything. As long as you have a non-stick pan, you don't need anything in your pan. Now, I don't advise this. I advise you use an egg lift or something, but I go in with my fingers because but what you really need to do is lift the edge like that. And you'll see they turn. They just turn, and you get them to flip. Because I've been doing them for so long, I use my fingers and just flip it over. Don't do that at home. Use your spatula. Get a really big spatula, bigger than this one if you can, or depending on the size of your pot. Get a big spatula and flip it over. That's it. I see piles of pancakes. How do they taste?
Oh, we didn't taste them yet.
We're still going.
How come y'all are so good? In my house, they've been half eaten before we got them to the table. What? Because Logan tried his already this morning.
He's hungry.
He's hungry.
Because you can't tell me at this time in the morning y'all are not hungry. Or maybe you ate breakfast already.
We're going to taste
Kinda, yeah, we did.
All right, I'm going to do one more of these.
This one. Okay, we're going to try one.
Remember with this one, I told you have to be really fast. Get in the pot, swirl it around. And trust me, the first couple of ones are going to be horrendous looking. But you want just one thin layer of batter. And you can do anything with this. Blueberries, you can do any berries. The same caramel bananas I did with the pancakes can go on the crepes. You can roll them, stuff them with cream cheese, berry cream cheese. Apples, caramel apples go well. And caramel is really easy to make too. Caramel is just, I used a quarter, a quarter, 4 tablespoons of butter and a cup of brown sugar, and just let it cook down. Just stir it. Let it cook.
I was gonna ask you too. Yeah, how to do that. That's good.
Brown sugar, butter, and caramel. And you can make it as much as you want.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to buy it. So literally, I use 4 tablespoons of butter, and I mix the sugar into that. And as the sugar dissolves, then you slowly add Either use heavy cream half and half or creamer. Don't use regular milk.
Okay.
What should be the consistency of the crepe pancake? Should it be like very runny?
Which one?
The crepe pancake, the French one.
It's really runny. It's almost like water.
Okay, all right. Because I thought mine was okay, that's fine.
No. It's really, really runny. It doesn't look like it's gonna turn into anything, how runny it is.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna try this now.
My fingers are hot.
No, wait. Do it together, okay? Do it together.
Anybody have crepes done already? Or the batter done? Somebody just asked a question, so they obviously have batter.
No, I'm now gonna put it in the pan to get it done.
And these can be as dark or as light as you like them. They don't have to be, and when they come out, they're not crunchy. They're just kind of, I don't know how to, they kind of pull. They're almost kind of rubbery.
Miss Melainie, I'm doing my last batch of pancakes.
Good.
These are the finished ones.
Beautiful. Now, when you go to France, because I'm sure each of you are going to take a trip to France eventually, some of the places you want to go see are like touristy places that everybody should go see. Is like the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, which is a museum. That's where they keep the Mona Lisa. And trust me, when I went there and saw it, I was very surprised. Because I thought, see, not all of them come out perfect. I thought the Mona Lisa would be a huge picture, the way they talk about it. It's really small, but it's something you need to see. Some of the other places you want to go see, there's great shopping over there. They have euros instead of dollars. And you can take like nice boat rides to see all the on the Seine. But it's really a pretty place, really, really pretty to go see. The people are typically really nice. They only speak French though. So, and they kind of turn up their noses at those of us who don't speak French because they think we should try, because they speak English. Most countries do speak English, but they kind of turn up their noses if you don't at least try to speak a little bit of French. So if mommy and daddy said they're going to take you to France for vacation, learn a couple French words. Like Uncle Lenny says, at least try to be able to know enough to get yourself out the airport. What other things you need to see in France? The Notre Dame is a huge cathedral, but it burnt down last year. The cathedral part of it, some of it burnt down. So I think it's closed now. And we can't go anywhere anyway because of coronavirus. But hopefully by the time you guys get to go, it'll be back up and running. The Palace of Versailles, y'all have to read up on that. That's beautiful too. But anyway, anytime you can get a chance to travel as part of education, you'll learn a lot. So anytime you can get a chance to travel, try to go to different places. And France is beautiful. It actually has the most tourists per year. A lot of people get engaged in Paris and married in Paris because it's supposed to be really a city of love. But Paris is kind of over commercialized, but the rest of France is beautiful. But if you can go, talk your parents into taking you.
Oh, well, I've actually been there too, Miss Melainie.
You have? Did you like it?
Yeah, this is Giovanni.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was really nice. I went with Adrian and Miss Andrine.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. We saw what is it called? The Eiffel Tower?
The Eiffel Tower, yeah.
It was really nice.
It is, it's beautiful. And the weather is a lot better than England.
Oh, yeah.
We left England and went to France. And we were I appreciate the weather so much better. You thought it was birds. So I'm glad you did enjoy it, Giovanni. Can you tell me someplace you went? Do you remember any of the places you went when you were in France? Other than the
Never went to.
We didn't.
Paris. What she's asking about Paris.
I went to see.
Tell them you went. What did you see?
I went to Paris.
Okay, so you went to Paris, you saw the Eiffel Tower. What else did you see?
Remember the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
Anything else?
You saw the Champs-Élysées?
Oh.
There was something that burnt down that we saw also. I don't remember.
No.
And what else?
Did you enjoy any of the food?
Oh yes,
Yeah, the croissants were amazing.
What?
And those were my favorite.
She heard it.
The croissants.
Oh, yes. The pastry shops there are to die for. Croissants and all their baking and pastry things are really, really delicious. All right, everybody got the hang of everything?
This pancake is so good, Adrian.
Melainie?
Hi, I'm Melainie.
Who am I talking to?
Hey, James.
James.
Hi,
I am from Alabama.
You went to Alabama?
Yeah.
What did you see in Alabama?
Hi, James.
Cousin.
What did you see? Your
Cousin.
cousin? Oh, you saw your cousin?
Yeah.
That's always a lot of fun. What did you
And
eat when you
then-
were down there?
I was dancing.
You ate what? You like dancing?
Yeah.
Dancing is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's show her your pancakes, your blueberry pancakes. Let's see you show your blueberry pancake. Hold it. Hold it. See? Let's do it.
That's a lot of pancakes for a little boy. Are you gonna eat all of those?
See, mommy?
We're gonna share it.
Oh, you're gonna share with mommy?
Oh, wait.
And he started eating his already.
Of course.
Yeah.
I saw a crepe. Who was that, William? Yeah, that's William.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made it.
Come on, stop. I didn't want it.
Did anyone start
So-
making a
Don't
crepe?
try it.
No, wait.
Don't
I see
try
William
it.
with his.
Come on, drop it. Good boy.
We have batter.
Okay, Rochelle. Hey, Nicole.
I wanted that one.
So the pancake, I didn't put it through. When you see the shape.
You're a blueberry person.
That's what
No,
that's
blueberry person.
Make some tea.
I'm not seeing him. Is that Madison over there? Yes. Madison, how you doing?
All right, Kenya. Let's see the next pancake.
I'm good.
You're good? How did
Yeah.
your stuff turn out?
It turned out good. I gave my pancakes to my sister so she could eat.
Okay. I'm not seeing Aiden and Chandler and what they've come up with. Did they stop and start eating? It wouldn't surprise me.
You're not enjoying it?
Hi, Aiden, Cheryl. Give me some. Give me
Let's
some,
see what they
Cheryl
got.
and Aiden.
I see
Okay. Come on,
they're eating. Drew, you have where's Drew? Is he eating?
I'm you, Drew, aren't you? Yes, Drew? Hey, Drew. Hi, Gio.
Hey.
All right.
Hi, in the camera.
I think everybody's eating.
He's not eating. We're trying to.
Hello,
We're
Gio.
attempting a crepe.
Huh?
You're doing what to a crepe?
We're attempting one.
Okay.
I don't know.
It looks good, Jean.
Hey,
Adrian.
blueberry pancake though.
These are my pancakes.
Ooh, Gio, I love those. Mmm.
Miss Kim.
I can eat
Sheila, you want to eat it already?
Eating the pancake already. They look like hot dogs.
Of course they look like hot dogs. There are hot dogs there, ain't you?
These guys are hot dogs that I want to eat.
Miss Melainie? That's where I come from.
Huh?
What are you doing? No.
Yeah, so everybody's gotten their pancakes done?
Yeah.
And everybody's ready to eat?
Yeah.
All right, so let's finish up.
Yeah.
How many do you want?
So next week you do Mom's pancakes.
Right there.
You can mix, you can add some eggs to it, right? You can scramble her some eggs or do something else to put on the side. You all said Mother's Day, right? You're too busy eating. All right, everybody had a good time? Everybody's eating?
Yes, we are eating.
Okay.
We are eating. Thank you.
Enjoy your breakfast.
Miss Melainie. Miss Melainie.
So we can get pictures of them?
Miss Melainie.
Yes.
Is it class over?
We're gonna finish now.
What's your sugar raisin?
I'm gonna finish now so you guys can finish up the meat. But I need
Is this how it's supposed to look? Miss Melainie, is this how the
Oh, mommy.
Say that again?
yeah,
Come on, you gotta fold it over. That's how you make a crepe. You fold it over. Put it in.
Oh, I should have made it.
Oh, the table can flip up. Here.
Miss Melainie, is this how the crepes are supposed to look?
Put it up to the camera so I can see it, sweetie. Let me see your food so we can say what it's supposed to look like. I see someone eating and smiling, but I need to see your food. Oh, that looks nice. Good job, Drew. Madison, bring yours up a little so we can see it. Because we're not seeing it.
You want to eat now?
Eat that?
Yeah, and you want your blueberry pancake?
Yeah.
Okay.
I put
Like omelets.
Okay, I see. Oh, those are nice.
This is my
Put it in the pot.
And that's
Scooter, they're eating. They're not taking pictures of you.
Yes.
Yes. Giovanni, do you have any pancakes to show us? Let me see what you did.
Here.
Oh, you have a whole plate. Enjoy. All right, I think everybody's good. Let's see.
Miss Melainie, I just finished mine.
You just finished yours. Did you save any for anybody else in the house? Or are you going to have to make some more?
I just finished my crepe.
Okay. Did you taste it? Good morning, Chevenise.
No, not yet.
Did everybody send us a picture?
I just flipped mine over and
You all have all week to practice these crepes to get them perfect for Mom.
Miss Melainie, what are you gonna do this again?
When we get back to church. Or you want to do it like this again?
Yeah. I thought you could do waffles. Waffle, waffle, I love waffles. Waffle, waffle, love waffles.
We can figure out something else, and we'll do something else.
Like making pizza?
We can try that, but pizza dough takes a little bit of time.
I can make pizza by myself.
I'll figure out something to do with y'all that's easy. I don't really want you using the oven, but if mommy's going to be right there with you, we'll work it. Okay? You want me one more?
That way you can see the.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I think everyone made some good food. I'm going to go eat my breakfast. And if you want anything, if you have any questions, I guess you can send an email. We'll get them answered for you if you hadn't had a chance to ask online right now. But remember, mommy always needs her flowers. Love on mommy all the time, but especially next week, okay?
Melainie, where do we send the picture to?
Send the picture you.
To the education website? Email it. Keisha, can you kick in on that one, please? Or where should they send the pictures?
Hey. Send the pictures and then
You can send it just send it this week to the education department. I'll put the email address in the chat again.
Come over here.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I see somebody put whipped cream on top of theirs. That looks pretty.
Mommy, I'm over here making pancakes.
All right, guys, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Melainie. Great.
Bye, guys. Say bye to everybody.
Bye, 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 bye.